Alrighty, the M4A3E8, known as the EZ8 Sherman Tier 6 American tank. I asked myself the question whether it was still viable, so I stuck it in Tank Compare, and you can see that there's some quite overpowered medium beasts now at Tier 6. And if you look at it on paper against the Cromwell B and the TIE Fighter tank, the Skeletron, you'll see on paper, you look at the tank and, there's been a lot of power creep in the game, and, it's no longer, if it ever was, particularly strong. But I wanted to take it out and play some games in it, and I like playing all forms of Sherman, and since Wargaming ruined the Tier 5 version, I thought I'll drive the Tier 6. I've played about 300 games in the tank, and I just thought it was Christmas, whatever, I'll take it out. I'll drive the one thing that no one else is driving. It's just me being the way I am. So to the gameplay, and I just wanted to show as usual, the attributes of the tank in game, rather than just sit there and talk about it in the garage. So the first game I'm playing is on Alpenstat, and I picked this game really because I wanted to show what the gun depression will do on the tank, and how strong it can be if you put it in the right situation. So I'm just going to rock up here by this bridge, and there's quite a steep bank you'll see here, and I'm going to spot up, and I'm going to use the gun depression of the tank. And what you've got on this tank is 12 degrees of gun depression, which is really quite glorious, because you can find a ridge like this, and you can pop over the top. You can unload a reasonable amount of alpha. You can see, the reload's not bad either. A reasonable amount of alpha, and you can just sit here and ridge fight. Now I'm not going to do that all game, because I can see my platoon mates taking a hammer in over there, and I can see that the team aren't really pushing. So I'm going to move on up and round. But I just kind of wanted to show that you can stick it on a ridge and ridge fight with it deluxe. The turret, on paper, there are stronger turrets in this tier, but the turret will get you bounces. It's not by any means impervious, but it will do a job. It will do a job, but the best thing is not to get shot, to be quite honest. And you can see the mobility of the tank. It's not bad. It's not super quick. Certainly not as quick as that MT25 I just shot in the butt. But it will get around, and I'm going to show a later game where you can see the mobility of the tank. I showed this game because obviously you've got things like T29s in it, and to be honest, you try and track him here, and there's nothing. But you want to avoid heavy tanks like the T29 in this, right? Do not get into a trade or a sort of battle with one of them, because they will eat you alive, and that's what I mean. You've got to be very aware in this tank. If you see something like a Tiger P, something like that, and you start looking at a Tiger P with this gun, all you will see is red, and he will burn you down. So that was very careless. I was just farming this guy, and I didn't think the T29 would come up quite as quick as he did behind me. My mate's made some comments about the Gravedigger, and he's quite right. The Gravedigger's done absolutely nothing. He hasn't frontlined the tank. He's on 0 damage at this stage in the game. Now, that's a tank from a crate. That was never earned. That was 17,000 gold, and the guy's just driven it out. And I'm not going to show his profile, but you will see the usual 42% and a low number of battles, and there he is in the Gravedigger. But whatever. So this first game, so you can see you got gun depression, you've got a fair amount of mobility, and it can pump out the damage. You can see what happens when you come across something like a T29. You just want to get out the way. So you have to play this tank very tactically. Otherwise, especially when you're lower tier, and I've deliberately showed lower tier games for the first two, so you get an idea. If you probably play it out platoon and you don't know what you're doing, I mean, I've got nearly 40,000 battles now, I kind of do know what I'm doing. You're probably going to get your arse handed to you, to be quite honest. So the tank is viable, don't get me wrong, but you've got to work hard to make it work, basically. But for all of that, I've thoroughly enjoyed playing 30 games in it over Christmas. It's been fantastic. So second game, I'm playing Naval Frontier. I'm playing with Grabera, who's a good mate of mine from my clan. He drives the KV-1S really well. And like I said, if you play as tank and platoon, it can work well, because if you play a medium and a heavy, you know, you can see I'm going to go out and push. I'm going to try and get spots for the team. I'm not going to be passive. And I know that I've got a KV-1S behind me with a big nasty gun, and I'm just going to kind of push around here and have a good look. And I showed this game because it kind of shows you the gun. Now on paper, the dispersion isn't great, but if you run it with a rammer and you use calibrated shells, you can get decent results. I think I've got the stabilizer on it as well, but you can get decent results. But you can see the dispersion over distance isn't great. You can also see that the shell velocity isn't amazing either. So I think I got a shot into the ARL there from across the map, and I did aim it up, but I have to be honest, that's going to go in 1 in 10 times. You know, I'll take it when it does, but so I'm going to push around, and I showed this game because I wanted to show some mobility. Once you get going in it, the pickup's not great, but once you get going, you can see it'll move for you. It will move around the battlefield. Now I've come all the way around here to help this VK out because I notice he's very low hit points. And get a shot into the SPC-1, which basically enables him to finish him off, or onwards and upwards. And I'm going to keep on pushing. I've conserved my hit points. I'm going to do a job for the team. Really lucky there. Could have got absolutely wrecked by that SU. You can see I've pretty much taken immediate evasive action. I really don't want that thing hitting me. If that hits you in the butt in this tank, and he's firing heat, you're almost a one shot. It's ridiculous. It's typical American tank. There is no armour on the arse of it, and to be honest, most shots will go through the front of it as well. So you've got to be really careful. And you can see me just fighting on that corner to take out the ARL, and I'm going to move into the T-34. But you will see I do have far superior DPM. I'm going to just out DPM that guy and finish him. So there you go. So that game I just wanted to show, you can get out there, you can be extremely mobile, the tank will get you there. You can see you can make the gun work over distance. You do need to equip the tank properly, and it will basically do the job. And then you sort of get the games whereby for once, for the love of God, you you get given top tier. And you're like, what is this alchemy? I'm top tier. This can't be right. And double check the team. Like, no, I'm bloody top tier. Jesus, so I'm getting one game in about 9 at the moment where I'm top tier. Even if I'm driving an easy 8, I'm like, oh come on, Wargaming, seriously give me a break. I'm not driving an OP tank. I've been bottom tier for loss. I know it's just like unicorns bitching, but I've been bottom tier for 7 games in an easy 8. I'm like, oh, give me a break. I am working hard. So eventually I get a break, and I want to show this game because it will show what the easy 8 will do if you are allowed to be top tier. And when it's top tier, it's not OP, but it will really work. It will really work. And you can see what I've done. I've taken the tank out wide on Port Bay. It's exactly where you want to be in this tank. It's mobile enough to get you there. And then once you're there, you can make shots all day because of the gun depression. But this game is not, by the way, going to be me sitting on a ridge in Port Bay, just shooting stuff. I was quite pleased with that. I am going to push, and the enemy team have done all sorts of strange things in this game, which kind of makes it interesting. It's not a typical kind of Port Bay battle. And you can see shots that, I've been playing the Panther, shots that you kind of make in the Panther don't kind of work in American tanks. Like I say, the dispersion and the accuracy is not amazingly great. So I'm going to YOLO down here, but I noticed the Type 58 is not long for this world, and I'm looking at the map, and I've seen that the enemy are now going to push C. So they've come all the way around the map, and there you've got the T-34. You see, I'm also playing honestly here as well. I'm not spanking APCR to compensate for the not particularly spectacular pen on the gun. I'm aiming and I'm making the shots in a kind of honest way. I'm not spanking Pramo. You can spank Pramo on this. It doesn't obviously improve the pen, but reduces your damage. And I have been playing for masteries recently, so you don't want to be reducing your damage by spanking APCR. And the credit coefficient's not amazing on the tank anyway, so you want to be playing it with normal ammo and aiming up, and I guess that's sound advice for a lot of things that you play. So I'm going to push along here, and this is actually the real reason I showed the game. This KV-1S, and I did look up this profile, it's a promising player. It's pushed out sideways, and can you see what you can do? You can pretty much permatrack stuff. The DPM really is not bad at all. I'm farming this guy, and it's a bit unkind, but he shouldn't be there. I'm just pretty much tracking him on demand. And you can see you can burn stuff down there, actually, you know, in the right situation. You can see I'm using a combination of the DPM, plus I'm going backwards and forwards with hard cover on a ridge, and it will really work. I'm going to trade with the SU, because once he's popped me for 400 odd, I'm going to out DPM him, that's no problem at all. And I'm going to move into the good old Swedish Lav. There it goes. Gone, so 5 kills, 2.2k. Very respectable game, but again, I want to show that game because it's just a bit fairer to the tank. It will show you what it will do when it's, you know, up tiered in inverted commas. You can quite easily knock out 2.2k and, you know, get a lot of kills in it. So anyway, is it still viable? Yes, it is. You've got to know what you're doing. It is not OP, and I wouldn't recommend this tank if you're a new player to the game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Cheers.